talking about?
Never gloating, just recognizing that, hey, listen, you might want to pay attention a little bit here to Fourth and Troll Fantasy. Beginning of the season, Wes and I both called Jayden Daniels a top 10 fantasy quarterback this season. Not only is he a top 10 fantasy quarterback, he's the quarterback one on the season. I went ahead and removed him from the trade block in the leagues where I drafted him. I'm not selling high because I'm a Kyler Murray owner as well. So that's fun. We'll talk about that. Another one here, Travis Etienne, Wes. You and I were both out on this guy. Both out. Did not believe. Touchdowns are going to regress, and he will not be the guy that you want him to be. He is the RB24, and he was going inside the top 12 running backs in drafts. So definitely not exciting there. Listen, only a month in, but not looking great so far. Studs and duds. Batted 1,000 this week, by the way. That was pretty cool. Pretty fun to see. Aaron Jones in a revenge game. Awesome. 18 fantasy points as my stud. J.K. Dobbins as my dud. 9.2 fantasy points against the Chiefs in a game where my reasoning was completely off. I was like, they're not going to be able to run the ball against the Chiefs because they're going to have to keep throwing it. Well, it was such a close game, but they still couldn't run the ball. So there you go. Dallas Goedert, stud, 13 fantasy points. It's the tight end, 13 fantasy points. How is that a stud performance? Because it was a tight end 6 this week. So shut your hole. And Mike Gesicki, my dud, 0.1 fantasy points. I mean, I didn't understand. I was had looked away and came back to the screen, and Mike Gesicki hadn't done anything yet. And I came back and I looked, and he was on the screen, and I was like, "Oh, I missed it. What happened? Dang it, he had a catch. That's probably at least a point." And then I was like, "Oh, it went for -9 yards. Cool." So 0.1 points on the game, and that's it. Nice, fun times. There you go. There's a little
PPR.
Yeah, full PPR. By the way, negative points if you are in half PPR. Enjoy.
Wow. Nice call.
Wes victory lap. Because
I
mean, this is one that we've been waiting for.
Yes. I have to jump back to the Thursday night game of week 4. I talked about a specific player was going to be top 5. And in fact, I asked a favor of all of you listeners and Fourth and Trollers. Did you do what I said? Did you save the social media clip of me saying Malik Nabers would be top 5 on the season? Because I asked you to save it because I specifically said, let's check back in after 4 weeks and see how he's doing, because I'm pretty sure we'll get an idea of where he'll finish. He's the best wide receiver in fantasy right now. Wide receiver 1
he is.
Out of everybody. So I think that's a pretty good call there on Fourth and Troll. Next up, put Alvin Kamara in my top 10. Not a lot of people were doing that. I know other people were. I did not expect him to be this great, but I put him in my top 10, and so far he's the best running back in fantasy football right now. Actually, the highest scoring player in fantasy. So also pretty successful there. Little throwback to our offseason as well. We had a bit of conversation. Who is going to be the best Bills pass catcher? I said Khalil Shakir. And now, that may not be quite an exciting victory lap we're taking. Well, Keon Coleman was drafted before him, and there was conversation whether or not Curtis Samuel or Khalil Shakir was going to be the guy. And not only is Shakir the best pass catcher, but he's wide receiver 18 on the season. And that's pretty great. You rather have Shakir or Tyreek Hill? Don't answer that, please. I'm a Dolphins fan.
Don't answer that.
Last couple here, my studs and duds for week 4. Andy Dalton. Well, he wasn't the most electric of all quarterbacks. He was top 12 and certainly did better than Josh Allen and Kyler Murray and some of the other players we're going to talk about in our Fluke or For Real segment, which is quite interesting. So maybe Andy Dalton is your new starting quarterback. And then next up, I also said Diontae Johnson. Someone else I said was top 10 on the season is alive and very well. 2 weeks in a row with incredible weeks, 21 and almost 21 and a half points on the week. Fantastic work. And then my dud was Garrett Wilson, specifically because of Patrick Surtain II, one of the best secondary players in the NFL, and he's shutting everybody down. It's actually the best any wide receiver's done against him. Something to keep in mind, and in fact, we're going to keep in mind a little bit how Garrett Wilson's going to pan out in our Fluke or For Real segment. Stick around for that. That's it for Victory Lap. Please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you join the Fourth and Troll season, because we're getting a lot right here. We're not perfect. We're not flawless, but we get a lot right. We want you to succeed due to Fourth and Troll fantasy. So stick around.